got another question from N. Otseth. Jay, why do you always start and Seth doesn't get to introduce as many beers?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Thank you for directing it to me, Mr. Otseth.
Could have directed it to me.
So you want to go ahead and answer that?
Yeah, because...
So when we sat down and decided the formula for this show, it was a collaborative meeting where we talked. I know you talked during that meeting. And so I got to introduce the first one. You did the second. Okay. I got the third. And then you got to do the close.
It was like this. Okay.
So there were puppets there, but that's not the point. Brett Paliali says, can you rap more, please?
Oh.
No, definitely not.
It was a fun one.
That was a great episode.
It was hilarious.
It was a great episode. Look for our new album to drop on February 30th, 2072. Okay. Imperial says, Jay, why do you talk about flavors so sexily?
Ooh.
Marshmallow mochas. Fruity flavors.
Are you discriminating?
Tiny.
He's like...
You have another question for me if you want to criticize our viewers, who frankly, I think are some of the best people in the world.
Yes. I have a question from...
You ever notice when somebody says some of the best people in the world, that can include all the people in the world, but it sounds like a compliment?
I guess it could, yeah.
But in this case, it definitely is. Go ahead.
I have a question from Laurie Mower.
Okay.
Her question is, what is your favorite brewery and or beer? Yeah.
I am very fond of Juicy Hoppy IPAs, which is like our second episode. That's why we did that one. So I got to say, Greenwood IPA is probably my favorite.
From left field, right?
From Left Field Brewing is probably my favorite beer, but I could be easily swayed if another one comes along that I really enjoy. How about you?
Well, I thought about that. I don't know if I could come up and just say that is my favorite beer.
You totally set me up and spiked me. You know that, right?
No, it wasn't me. It was Laurie Moore.
Larry Moore?
Laurie.
Laurie?
Laurie Moore.
Laurie Moore. Okay.
Laurie Moore.
Got
actually,
it.
You know, I guess my favorite beer, actually, now that I spent some time thinking about it, would have to actually be Guinness. Yeah.
So Guinness.
Guinness.
What are you drinking now?
So I just got this is the Black Donnelly's Lager. Black Donnelly from just north of...
Mitchell, right?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit south of Mitchell, but yeah, it's around Mitchell.
Ontario.
Yeah, so the Black Donnellys, like from the Lucan area.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, why don't you eat marshmallows? They're delicious. They're even better than blueberries. Oh, that's another one from N. Otseth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a vegetarian, so I don't eat marshmallows because they have gelatin in them, and gelatin comes from cow hoof. All right. Cow hoof, yeah. The next one is from Barry Laged. Seth, how does
Wow, I can't believe all of these viewers.
No, I'm really impressed with the questions. And again, if you have questions for us, please write us at the email address right there. We'll be happy to bring it up on a future show. Seth, this is from Barry Laged. Seth, how does Urban Dictionary define licking the inside of a whiskey barrel?
How do they define it?
Yeah, I think that's a callback to like our third episode where we talked about licking the inside of a whiskey barrel.
I think it actually just shows, yeah, actually I just looked it up. Wikipedia, there it is. It's actually, that's the thing right next to, yeah.
It's a good definition.
All that I have a picture, right?
All right.
Quick and handy.
Hey, Jay. Oh, sorry, this is from Paul S. Tout. Hey, Jay, what's with you and coffee? You seem like a real coffee snob. Thank you for your feedback. We value your response, and we look forward to talking to you in the future.
Ouch. Coffee. Snob.
Actually, I totally am a coffee
You
snob.
kind of are, actually.
I spend like $23 a pound on coffee.
Ow, God.
It's disgusting.
How do you drink that much?
If I don't get my daily espresso...
Espresso?
No, espresso.
That's what I said.
No, it's espresso.
That's what I said, espresso.
Espresso.
But it starts with an E. Espresso.
Yes, and there's no X.
That's what I said. Espresso.
No, espresso.
That's what I said.
Okay, I'm going to punch you. I am a coffee snob. It's well documented. I love quality coffee. I spend a disgusting amount on making sure that my coffee is as good as possible. Heck, before every episode, I make sure I have a double espresso.
Wow.
Or as they call it in Italian, espresso doppio. Un cantoncini. Because I like to have a little biscuit dip inside the espresso. Biscuit dip. Okay, this is from E. Musk. E. Musk says, are you accepting sponsors at this time?
Wow.
I'm being irrational with my spending and have a disgusting amount of money and I don't know how best to spend it.
Wow, that offer is out of this world.
That would be wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's out of this world.
For sure.
Electrifying.
It is electrifying.
Wow.
And out of this world. And Tesla. Yes, of course we're accepting sponsorship, Mr. E. Musk. And you could contact us at the email address below if you'd like to talk about sponsorship opportunities.
That would be great.
Heck, whatever you could do to help offset the cost of beer, we'd be quite happy to accept.
So would our wives.
Indeed. Seth and Jay. Ooh,
Together.
double cost, or double question. Sorry, I started to read ahead. Seth and Jay, if you were to cosplay, what characters would you cosplay as? From Susan Azon. So Susan Azon says, if we were to cosplay, what character would we cosplay as?
Do we have to cosplay together? Like
I think what we should do is each of us says one, and then we have to do like a team costume.
Or do we want to just go like 1, 2, 3, and then we say it?
The team costume?
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, 3, 2, 1, and then we say it.
Yes.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. The
Wonder
front
Woman.
and back of horse.
Wonder Woman.
P.
Wait, who would be the back of the horse?
Why are you pointing at me?
I don't know.
This one's for you.
Because from the horse's mouth?
I'm just going to move on to the next question.
I thought that was pretty good.
I actually thought that a good team costume would be the front and the back of a horse. But individually, I would go as the main character from Gears of War. And you would, of course, go as Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman.
Batman.
You're not Batman, I'm Batman.
No, I'm Batman.
I have 2 Batman costumes at home.
Batman.
Sometimes I dress up and patrol the streets at night. And then I go home quickly because I can't get out of my neighborhood. All right. The next question is from Paul Imp.
Paul Imp.
P. Imp. Seth, how much does DJ Sethy Seth charge for an evening of service?
That's a good question. And thank you for noticing this shirt. DJ Sethy Seth, it's a real thing. Yeah.
So how much do you charge for an evening of service for Mr. P.
Well,
Imp?
just like any, musician kind of thing, and the fees are based on the size of the room, the type and size of the crowd. So, but just get in contact with us and
email us at this address right here.
Or maybe I'll just get in contact with you, P Imp.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Imp. All right, you got another question for me?
Oh,
Yeah, you go ahead.
No, actually, that was all the questions that were directed to me. I don't know why.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next one, it's from Fred Landers. Jay, that's for me. As a fan of Molson Canadian, I'm offended that you called it thin and wet and not a good beer. I want you to apologize publicly. Thank you for your feedback, Mr. Landers. No. All right, the next question is from N. Otj. Seth. N. Otj.
Okay.
Seth, when are you taking Jay to your cottage?
It's not a cottage.
4 left. Jay. Oh, from XB Itter.
Ooh.
Yeah. XB
I think I dated her.
Cool.
XB Itter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay, can you tell the duck joke to the audience? I'd love to. Okay, so here's the deal. So, all right.
It was still not funny.
All right. Try it again. Lovely plumage, right?
I know.
It's so even better the second time. Even though you know what's coming, it still hits you. All right.
Wow.
From Jim S. That's
Jim
interesting. First full name, last initial. A lot of these people like N. Otseth are like first initial, last name. For your summary, do you consider giving the beers reviewed a score? And while we like the title, it is a mouthful. I have a suggestion title. 3 beers and 6 opinions. From Jim S. Okay, so that's a couple of questions. The first one is, for your summary, did you consider giving the beer's review a score?
We did.
We did. We even tried it on an episode, and it was left on the cutting room floor because it rings kind of hollow for 2 reasons. The first reason is, if I have a beer right now, it's going to taste one way, but it has everything to do with what I did before drinking that beer. So if I have like a breath mint before drinking a beer, it totally changes the flavor profile.
How often do you have breath mints?
Not often enough, but
I know.
But it totally changes the flavor profile. Cool. So a beer that's 4.5 out of 5 today might be a 3.75 the next time. So they're just kind of fluid in that way. The second reason is I don't think we're reliable enough to make that work.
Oh, really?
I don't.
You don't think that we're knowledgeable enough to make that call?
It's not about knowledge. I think what it is that you and I have kind of this sweet spot where I have one system for judging it and you have another system for judging it.
It's true.
So for me, that Coors Light might have been a 1, but for you it might have been a 2.5, and so everything's related to that.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Second question, while we like the title, it's a mouthful.
It is.
So that was done on purpose. Years and years ago, I decided that if I ever opened a brewery, because 4 out of 5 guys are on the edge of opening a brewery and just quitting this job. If I ever opened a brewery, I'd call it the Rural Juror Brewery, because if you couldn't say the name of the brewery, you were cut off.
That's right.
It was a good point at that for us to say, okay, you've had enough, you're out.
Yep.
And that's how we make sure we keep our license.
That's right.
When we started this show, we realized we didn't want to do a show that was about overconsumption of alcohol.
That's right.
So that check at the end of the episode is an opportunity for us to go, if you can't say it, maybe what we did in this episode is not a good idea.
That's right.
So,
yeah.
Besides which, it's really funny to say it.
It's really
Try
funny.
saying it. Rural
Juror Brewery
Juror Brewery Tour. See, that would get cut off.
Brewery Tour.
It's not a good name if you say it that way. But if you can say it,
yeah,
it was a good idea.
Well, it's one of those, like phonetic things
Yeah.
you'd have like speech therapy or something.
You got to work a lot at being able to say it right.
Juror Brewery Tour.
Exactly. Thanks for your question, Jim.
Good question.
All right. Why does some beer smell skunky? Is it because skunks, like rabbits, hop? From PL Pew Pew Pew. PL Pew 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 asks, why does some beer smell skunky? You're not laughing at the name of our viewer, are you?
No, I'm not.
Is it because skunks, like rabbits, hop? Actually, that's kind of funny sounding.
Skunks don't hop.
So why does some beer smell skunky?
Probably because you left it in your garage.
Oftentimes, so there's this debate out there in the beer drinking world, which is better, the bottle or the can, and right now even you're having a can, I'm having a bottle. Light is the enemy to keeping beer fresh.
It's true.
And so sometimes when beer has been exposed to sunlight too much, or light of any kind, it can cause the flavors inside the bottle to start to change profile. So once in a while, I'll have a steam whistle or a Corona and open it up and it's got that skunky odor to it.
But steam whistle was green.
The glass was, yeah, the beer was not.
No,
Except on
St.
Patrick's Day.
Yeah, the glass.
Yeah.
I mean...
But that's why bottles are often a little darker colored to help keep some of that light out.
Now, the opposite can also be said about, and I don't necessarily agree with it, but I've also heard the other thing of the whole can taint. So where they feel that the can taste.
Yeah, you get a little metallic.
Why you want to pour it out of your can into a glass so that you don't get the can taste. I don't know.
All right, last question. So, this is a good one from Alan Barbara V. That's
Alan.
A, B, and VEE is the last name.
Huh, okay.
So what is the history behind IPAs?
Oh, and we're out of time.
We're
out of time. Thanks so much for watching. You've been watching the Rural Juror Brewery Tour.
Well said.
Thank you. I'm Seth.
I'm Jay, and join us next time when we try some more beers and don't tell you the history of the IPA.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. See you then. Make sure you subscribe below.
Take care.
And I'm going to get another beer.
Good, he's still gone. Okay, not only that, but his wife puts demands on me that are totally unreasonable. Hi, what'd you get? Oh, I love that place.